You can sit down and laugh.
I certainly want to thank everybody for coming. As you all know, we're here today for the retirement of Jani Bielke.
Jani. Jani.
And we'd like to begin the program with an Esme family tribute to Jani.
Oh dear.
People. Welcome, thank you everybody. I'm Joni, this is Julie. We are two of Jani's siblings. Anything that starts with a J is related. We'd like to welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming. And huge on behalf of our family, huge thank you to Linda. I mean, she deserves a round of applause. And Kelly and everybody that's been working in the background and everything, they've been wonderful. So thank you. First off, please, if you haven't yet, sign the guest book over there by the flowers.
Okay, and like she said, I'm Julie. I'm Jani's more mature sister. In fact, I think I'm probably the most mature person in our family. I just want to invite you all to follow us all over after this little program. Follow us over to Billy's, which is right there. And about 4 o'clock when we're done here, we have something even more fun awaiting us over there.
2 words, cash bar.
You know, Jani, I'm slightly older than Jani. I remember actually when they came home from the hospital, and I remember changing her diapers. And of course, she keeps reminding me that someday she'll be changing mine.
All right, so those of you that know Jani probably are jealous of all of us siblings, because you would probably love to have her as a sister. She is, as you all probably know, she is beautiful on the inside. She's wonderful, friendly, loyal, honest, the best kind of person you can imagine. Beautiful on the inside. And as her identical twin sister, I can attest to the fact that on the outside she's gorgeous.
Well, you know, Jani started working at Central Communications a long time ago, back when you couldn't even dial 911. You had to dial 427-1212. Those of us who grew up in Anoka County, right? Wasn't that the first?
Hands and some string.
Oh. And when she started working here, there were things that were in vogue were things like Pac-Man and beanbag chairs and big hair. Oh, we should have brought one of those pictures of Jani with her big hair. Yeah, padded shoulders. The Berlin Wall came down. And we actually have a special visitor here today, a special guest that was really part of those times, had a big part to do with not just Jani's life, but our nation. We'd like to introduce him now.
All right, look out.
Thank you very much. Well, it's really a pleasure to be here. Things really hot. Some of you might wonder, no, why would you pull Ronald Reagan out of the grave to come to this? Well, got a couple of stories. Jani, when she first started here as president, and Jani, they did a preliminary test for her to join Central Communications. And she failed it. They So they called me, Nancy and I were really good friends with Joel and Sue over here, they're big Republicans that helped us out. So I called and made a pull 2 strings about Jani her job, and some people are asking me, well, what did she fail? What did she do wrong? And, well, when Jani first started, I said, okay, can you demonstrate to us how to dial 911? Jani couldn't find the 11 key. Come on, that's my best too. So Jani said, hey, you know what? I said, how's it going with this retired? She says, oh, it's great. She said, you know, what's the difference between 911 and a cow? I said, I don't know. She said, well, you can't milk a cow for 35 years. And Jani knew it was going to retire when she went to the antique show a couple of weeks ago, and 3 people bid on her. Our brother Joel is the doctor over at the hospital here at Mercy, and so he comes and takes care of all of our health issues, if you will. And Jani's had, started to have some problems with hearing. And the other day, Joel's walking on the street here by Billy's and runs into Jani. She's got her arm around this really hot-looking young man. And Joel said, hey, Jani, how are you feeling? And Jani said, well, you told me, I have to read this. You told me to get Mama a hot man and be cheerful. And Joel said, no, Jani, I told you, you got a heart murmur and you need to be careful. Anyway, with that, I wanted to introduce my significant other, Nancy. Can you come in, Nancy, for a minute? Oh, you want Secret Service?
Secret Service.
Oh, Secret Service one.
Jani, Don and I have watched you from a distance, watched your astonishing progress, and we are so happy that you are one of us and not one from that other dark side party, which is unlike your mother. Another party. So it is with great honor that I would like to present you with this box. Yes, I hope you will enjoy it. It's a token of our appreciation for all of the long hours of work that you have done. And now that you can hear me. Did you get my good line? The one good line I made? All right. Anyway, we are so happy that she's one of our party and that she didn't go over and join that dark side party like her mother did. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
Turned it off.
Well, certainly it's difficult to follow that type of an introduction introduction, but you already heard about some of her family. Her mom, or her dad, had a strong musical background, having served in the military as a tech sergeant in the Field Artillery Band out of Mitchell, South Dakota. Mrs. Esme was a music teacher at District 11 for well over 20 years, and in fact, at one point was my music teacher, and despite her best efforts, I can't sing a tune very well. I'm sorry, Mrs. Esme. Today at 94, you see that she continues to play the piano, sing, travel, and maintain participation in civic events. Janie's brother Joel Esme, Dr. Joel Esme, serves as the house doctor over at Mercy, but also serves as a medical consultant for Public Health Department here in Anoka County. Her sister Julie, who you saw earlier, is married to Al Hawkinson. Julie's been the rock, really, for Janie, both spiritually and in life guidance for all these years. Her brother John is president of his own company, Builders Club, and is married to Debbie Hoagie. Her twin sister Joni, who you've met, owns Custom Assembly along with her husband Kevin Hoagie. So siblings from the Hoagie family married siblings from the Esme family.
And it's legal in Minnesota.
And then both Debbie and Kevin's dad was Clayton Hoagie, the former chief of police in the city of Blaine. And her youngest brother Jay is not here today, but he's married to Lolly, and he's president of Eco Finishing in Fridley. And her two wonderful children are here today. I see Trevor and Jolie. And certainly I have to note that Janie is the best aunt in the world to the 17 nieces and nephews. She participates in many of their games, attends every function. So family is the most important thing to Janie that we stood here today. Next, I'd like to call to the podium one of Janie's favorite speakers, Coon Rapids City Council member Steve Wells, the former chief of police of Coon Rapids.
Thank you. I agree. It's tough to follow the talented family like that. Can you hear me now? Yeah. All right. I can't take credit for this. Denise Clint emailed me and said, "Can I make a little presentation for Janie?" They go back; they're high school friends. Apparently, not good enough friends for Denise to come back from Florida. But so a little presentation from Coon Rapids, and I mean, to put it in perspective, how long she's worked. When she started, I was a 25-year-old cop in Coon Rapids. That's how long ago this was, and I probably knew Janie, you know, from breaking up field parties and the kids screaming away and stuff. And I hate to break it to your mom, but you know, and of course, as police officers, you try to check the safety of young lovers to make sure the girl is there willingly. And I kept seeing the same face in the back seat. And then I figured out it's twins, so it wasn't quite as bad, but to our little presentation here. First off, you know, to show you how far back Denise goes, of course, I get this, and Denise says, "Don't worry, I've taken care of everything." Citizens recognition to Janie Esme. And I did email her, and I said, you know, she did change her name a few years back. But now you've got two of these, one in Bielke and one in Esme, and you have at least that many personalities, so that works. But briefly, on behalf of the City of Coon Rapids, you are hereby recognized with the Citizens Recognition Award for your lifelong dedication to serving the Coon Rapids community through volunteerism and professional service as a 911 coordinator. Thank you for helping to strengthen our community. So there, these are very nice. They're suitable for framing. I didn't frame them, but they are suitable for framing. So, congratulations. You're going to love retirement. It's the best.
And then just a formality before I have some comments to make. Janie, on behalf of the Anoka County Board of Commissioners, if you'd come up here for a moment. The commissioners ask that we share this memento of the occasion of your retirement. 34 years of service of people to the county and to the citizens of Anoka County. We really treasure all those moments. Well, as you know, the honored guest today is Janie. She's a unique individual and a lifelong friend. Well, not that unique, Tony's here too. Anyone that's been around us knows that we've been friends since we were 5. We've known each other through kindergarten, through high school, college roommates. Wasn't the best college roommate. She was at my wedding, through family events, and now here at work, and that's what we're here for today. I can say that through all those times there's been many adventures, and as the chief alluded to, many contacts with public safety. Jani and Joni literally came into the world involved in public safety, to kind of paraphrase a story from Peter Bodley from when you had your 90th birthday, I think, Mrs. Esme. Mrs. Esme had gone into labor 3 times, false labor, and Don had driven you to the hospital, but the last time he was at work and you called, and they told you to call the ambulance, and so you called Harold Bartholomew. That was the first chief of the City of Coon Rapids Fire Department. He was the ambulance driver back then, and he came and picked you up, and he and his partner drove them leisurely to the hospital, and on the way they said, "How you doing, Sally?" And she said, "Well, one long, strong pain." And so they turned on the lights and sirens and headed down to Minneapolis, and Joni and Jani were delivered by the first doctors of the county that we know from Coon Rapids, Dr. Asha and Dr. Sight. So that was the beginning of public safety contact. As Steve Wells alluded to, you've been a lifelong Coon Rapids resident. Their community involvement started when Jani and Joni actually won the award for Which Twin Has the Tony in a Halloween parade in the early 60s. It was hard to find that in print because, you know, the 60s. You served as a Coon Rapids police explorer in the 70s at the direction of Sergeant Leroy Anderson, who's no longer with us. As I recall, one of the biggest officer needs help calls occurred in the 70s at a party at your house. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Esme, to get on. When your parents were gone, there was swinging, there was punching, and stealing of officers' uniforms. Some hats disappeared. Tim, I wasn't there, and Jani told me about it. So, despite some of those contacts, and with a good word from Blaine Chief Clayton Hoagie, Jani was selected as then a Blaine Police Cadet with program oversight by Corporal Tom Fisher. And you volunteered as a cadet from 1976 through 1979. In high school, there's so many stories that we still laugh and share together, but I couldn't begin to tell them all. I'd be here for a couple days, at least the ones I can remember. But the thing I can tell you is that certainly Jani was involved in many positive activities in high school, cheerleading, student council, graduated with honors from Coon Rapids Senior High in 1976. And if you know the Esmes, you already know that they have a great sense of humor. This carried over into the time that Jani participated in the Miss Coon Rapids pageant in 1976, when she won 4th runner-up, but came away with a huge trophy for Miss Congeniality. So this really says it all to me, is when asked at the pageant if you could have one superpower, what would it be? All the other contestants spoke of world peace and harmony. But Jani says, "Oh, to be invisible, so I could go in the boys' locker room." After high school, she attended North Hennepin, then transferred and graduated from St. Cloud State with a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice Studies, along with a minor in gerontology, and I figured she was just preparing for retirement even way back then. In the summer of 1979, she actually worked as a temporary Blaine police technician, so she had some involvement from the record side. And again, public safety involvement. Asked her to tell you about the time that she outwitted detection by Coon Rapids Dick Barlin's canine dog. That's a story. So her public safety interest led her to dispatching. I think Jani and I both have talked about that we recall literally sitting at the back here of the county courthouse when it was a dirt parking lot next to the first bank of Anoka, and talking about the job and whether she was qualified and whether she wanted to work here and make $5 an hour. You know, that was probably the wage back in those days. You landed the job with help, good word from Blaine Chief Clayton Hoagie. And I looked at your file. We've got your criminal history, your Tri-County warrant check, and your reported height and weight at the time. I actually recall, I truly do recall one of the cards Jani first took as a dispatcher. She answered the phone. She wrote her card very properly as trained with all the details, including the caller's name. Do you remember this?
Is this Linda LaFlamme?
No, it's close to. And she listed the caller's name as Ken Schus, S-C-H-U-U-S. But for those of us that are old-timers from Coon Rapids, that would be Kinney Shoes on Coon Rapids Boulevard. In your very short time into your career, one of the lead dispatchers wrote, "I do not think that Jani's total ability has been realized yet at Central Communications." And really, back in the the 80s to say that, look where that brought you to. And that was very true. So Jani has already alluded to was here in 1982 when 911 was introduced as a new number. Her good years of service as a dispatcher brought her to being a lead dispatcher in 1991. In May of that year, Jani handled one of 2 calls to a 911 call of a homicide in Andover. That case was prosecuted successfully based in her part because of the good questioning she did, along with the Anoka County Sheriff's Office response and the handling of the crime scene. In fact, that case has been featured in the Forensic Files Court TV. So she really had a hand in some of the preliminary crime scene forensics calls. She obviously didn't have anything to do with the crime scene, but the line of questioning that she and actually lead dispatcher Shelley Peets did that day really were successful in helping solve that case. Then in 2011, you were promoted from a lead dispatcher to the role of PSAP coordinator, where she serves today. You've responded in for tornadoes and unscheduled power outages. When an officer arrives at the scene when Jani worked the radio, she really is one of the best people. She sounds like an umpire, you know, it's 1 King 11, put me out. 1 King 11, you're out. Your voice is heard on many of our audio tapes as training examples, talking to people politely. I can't speak of it here, but some of us have heard a training tape of the ice cream incident, and that always serves as a good training tape for others. I'm sorry you just can't listen to that. One thing she's done really well over the years is public speaking. Jani has handled more Girl Scout events, Boy Scout events, civic events, American Legion troops, senior academies, police and fire academies. Her natural talent and keen wit have helped her engage with all who visit at the dispatch center. She's worked through literally thousands of difficult calls, helped countless people she'll never know, forged friendships that we see today with both law and fire throughout the county, and has served the county well. So her file is full of thank yous, commendations for both law enforcement and fire departments and from within our department, and a dust collection from over 3 decades, let me tell you that. When I asked Jani what she wanted for retirement, she of course said, Kevin Costner or Donny Osmond. So, I'm sorry, Jani, all I have is words of Winnie the Pooh, and that's how lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. We wish you luck in your retirement.
All right, we're almost done. So now it's my turn. First of all, there will be ugly crying. If any of you heard me on the air today, the beginning stunk, the end stunk, but I was able to make it through in the middle. Anne Marie, wherever you are, I'm going to kick your little butt. Cry. Okay, when I was born, I won the lottery. I won the privilege and the God-given blessing of being born into an amazing family.
Turn it off.
It's a fact that I would not have made it through the most difficult times over particularly this last year without their support, their understanding, their offer of vengeance, and most importantly, their unconditional love, especially my kids. Trevor's way in the back. Your calm, creative, soothing personality has been a touchstone for me. And Jolie, who came in late, but she's the beautiful one in the middle there, single. Ted, you're married. Still living at home, so again, single. But Jolie, you truly are my best. You helped me wipe away endless tears, whether they were from sadness or from pee-pee laughing. I love both of you endlessly. I won the lottery a second time, almost 35 years ago, when I was offered a position here in Anoka County as a dispatcher. It's been an honor to work for Anoka County. This is my home turf, so it made the job all the sweeter that I got to work in my own neighborhood. Now, if you heard my radio sign off, it was too hard for me to just do a typical sign off, so I did it in poem form. So for my goodbye today, is this thing shaking like that? I'm going to do an analogy of one of my favorite stories, and those of you who know me well know one of my favorite stories is The Wizard of Oz. So since it is my story, I get to be Dorothy, okay? Tim Yantos, you are my wizard. You work behind the scenes with little recognition, and you're simply a kind, faithful, amazing man. You've made our Emerald City a better place to work. Little Kelly, Miss Kelly, you are my Glinda the Good Witch. You're beautiful and you work magic at what you do that nobody else could. And most importantly, you keep all the munchkins in line. My leads are my lion. You lead with courage. Each of you have your own talents as a supervisor. And you're the greatest at bringing those talents to the forest with flair. My dispatchers are my Tin Man. It's a cliche that most people who go out looking for a job in this kind of field want to have a job where I can help people. This job is the epitome of that. I mean, we are the once upon a time for helping people, and you guys do it with huge hearts. Okay, and let's be honest. There are some wicked witches that we work with, but what would a story be without them? Even they serve a purpose. I'm not going to name names. We know. And finally, Linda, you are my scarecrow. You can't dance. You are the brains of the whole operation, and I can't say enough about you. 30 plus years ago, she and I actually made a pact that someday we would rule this county. Our dream came true, number 1 and number 2. But you are my scarecrow because I'm going to miss you most of all. So in conclusion, yes, finally, I get to say there's no place like retirement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodbye.
Billy's in an hour.
Hi, Larry. Oh,